But I got a hold to them pills, and they finally kicked in.
That's good. You look like you were suffering yesterday.
Yes, my allergies are horrible. But I'm better today. I'll be ready for our meeting. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Shabette. Good morning, Benitra. Good morning, Maze. Good morning, Latanya.
Good morning.
How you doing, Benitra?
I'm okay. My cousin just called me and she just sitting there again trying to get her hair done and she just breaking down and I'm just like, oh my God. Like I just wanted a goo gaga, now I can't sleep. So I'm okay.
Good morning.
I just
Good
wanted a
morning.
goo goo gaga. I was up late last night, so I just really want a nap.
You get a nap today, sometime, I guess.
I got a question for y'all.
Okay.
Have you, any of y'all used that Zocam app for earnest
I
money?
have. I have used it for two, well actually two of them. So I know Patent Title use it. Then this other one I just went under contract with.
So you have to take a copy of your check. They can't do it digitally and just go in. They asked it for a copy of the check. I don't have no checks.
Oh, you don't got you can't get a temporary from the bank.
Oh Lord. Let me just wire it. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna do all that.
Yeah. You know, I have that problem too. I don't use checks. My husband does, but I don't use them. So when people ask for checks, I'm just like, I just bring it to you. Don't worry about it. It's cheaper to go get gas, man. Gas. I mean, bring it to you
But you
than
know what? I had another title company I used through Zocam, and when I used Zocam, they let me enter my bank account number, and they just went in my account and took it. So I guess each title company has their stuff set up different in Zocam, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay. Good deal. We're gonna get started here in a little bit, guys. Does anyone else have any questions before we get started? All right, I'm working solo today. Shannon is on a much needed and earned vacation, y'all. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, she works hard. Uh, Perfect topic for the day is how to hire an assistant. People ask me all the time, how did you hire her? Like, I hire people on paper. I don't hire people because I like them. So, she's really, really good at what she does. And today is our mastermind for our top agents. We're going to quotes. If anyone hasn't seen or know where quotes is, it's the Old Bar Louie in Willowbrook Mall. And does any of you guys know? Any of y'all know Ahmad Steele, the mortgage guy?
Nope.
Okay, well he's a mortgage guy. He's a really good mortgage lender, and he actually is a co-owner of the restaurant. So he's hosting our mastermind today.
Yes, dope.
So we'll have some really good topics, and then I got some coaching sessions. We praying for traveling grace for patients. She going on a cruise this week.
Have fun, patience.
Thank you, Janelle. Thank y'all.
You're welcome. Okay, we'll go ahead and open up for questions before we actually get the topic started. We'll let everybody else get in. We have 2 minutes. Anyone have anything, any questions, ideas, or anything you want to run past me before we get started today? I did put a message in our group me for you guys to join the Facebook page. Looks like we only have half of you guys. So make sure you join it so that you can get some helpful information. And to remind you guys that our relaunch is next Saturday on the 26th. I think a mixed Friday next Saturday. So make sure you guys are ready to invite your favorite realtors and business partners to come out and celebrate the relaunch of CR Elite Realty. I think that's all the announcements that I have. I'm probably getting on y'all nerves because I'm your new compliance person, but I just want you guys to be in compliance. So if I send you back your files, please send them back as fast as you possibly can so that we can adhere to the compliance rules. All right, so let's get started. Go ahead, Benitra.
Oh, it's next Thursday, y'all.
It's next Thursday. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah. Thursday night, the 26th, right?
that's correct.
All right. All right, so y'all go get fly so we can see y'all. Okay, so today is about how to hire an assistant. This is a really good topic for a lot of you guys because I want you guys to definitely understand the difference between being busy or productive, right? And a lot of us have a habit of doing two things. We mistake movement for achievement. So a lot of us wake up, and because we have a title and we get up and we leave the house, we believe that we're operating in our business, and we'll find ourselves doing a lot of busy work during the day and not necessarily operating in our business. And the second thing is we operate out of scarcity. So when our schedule gets overwhelming and we have a lot of things going on, we have to be able to afford them. I want to reiterate how important it is for you guys to understand that when you hire someone to do a job for you, you are hiring them and their family, and you're saying, I'm going to feed you and take care of you. And if you are in a position where you have to make selfish decisions, then it's not time for you to hire an assistant. It's time for you to get more organized. So in all businesses, this works pretty much for all businesses, right? We're just primarily speaking in the field of real estate, but it actually works in all businesses. So if you have a service-based business, you have a client-based business, you technically will make your first hire when you have a consistently worked with 25 clients over a year period of time. How many people does that ring true for? How many people are in that position where they need an assistant right now? We've closed a average of 25 services, no matter what you do. You've worked with 25 clients over a year period of time, right? So since no one said that, that means nobody's in that position. But we will go ahead,
Oh,
Charlie. Go ahead.
Yeah, I have in my credit repair business.
So I'm glad that you brought that up, right? So if you don't mind me sharing, me and Charlie is my one of my private coaching clients, as well as one of the agents. And right now, what we are working on is organization and working with his assistants, right? So Charlie has three businesses that he does, and it's about organization, right? But Charlie, can you say that before you got to the point where you were having 25 plus clients, could you really afford an assistant?
No, not before I started. No, no.
Right. Um, so what we have to understand is that there is a economic model to business. This is not necessarily real estate driven. There's an economic model to business. So what you guys should really be doing, and I taught a lot of you guys this when we first got into real estate, is that you should be spending 20% in expenses. You should be spending 30% in taxes and then 50% profit, right? So if we use that economic model and 30% of our income was going to taxes, let's just say we made $100,000, right? I always tell you guys I can teach you how to make $100,000 in 6 months. So if you make $100,000 and 30% of that goes to taxes, that means you only have $70,000 left. If another 20% of that goes to expenses to run your business, that does not include salaries. That's your marketing, your coaching, your driving, your gas, your systems, that kind of stuff. That means you're down to $50,000 a year, right? And so if you have to give $30,000 of salary to a assistant, that means that you're going to be living on $20,000 a year. How many of you guys right now can live on $20,000 a year? Exactly.
I'm ashamed to say I spent that in a month. I'm
Don't
so
be.
sorry. I'm I'm so embarrassed.
Why? So let's talk about that. Why are you embarrassed to have $20,000 to pay your own bills and spend in a month's time? What's embarrassing about it?
I don't know where it went.
Okay, well, that may be one thing to be embarrassed about, but being able to spend $20,000 a month is a mindset that we have to get accomplished, right? Most successful real estate agents is making $20,000 to $30,000 a month. Let me just tell you that. So, to make that possible, to put that in numbers, right now we are the average price range is 400,000, but the average price range in our office is 375, right? So if we took 375, multiplied it times 3%, that's $11,000. If you close an average of four
Two
homes a
houses.
month, yeah, 4 homes a month, you're making $45,000 a
Mhm.
month. So remember, I told you I could teach you how to sell and make six figures in 6 months. It's possible. So if you're making $45,000 a month, you definitely need an assistant, right? Because you can afford an assistant. But let's just say that you have not consistently. And so when I ask people, when I ask real estate agents who I'm coaching or I'm talking to, like man, like I said, me and Charlie just had this conversation. When I say, okay, this is the amount of money it takes to hire an assistant, this is anywhere between $14 to $16 an hour. You're going to be paying $30,000 to $35,000 a year to someone. If you're only making $100,000 a year and you're giving them 33,000, you're paying 30,000 in taxes, and you're paying $20,000 in expenses. What you're going to find out is you're going to have to make some selfish decisions, right? So if it takes between your children eating and their children eating, who are you going to choose? So this is not 1 month of great success. This is 12 months. So the average real estate agent hires a assistant part-time when they have closed 25 deals a year consistently. That means that every month I have closed at least 2 to 3 deals, and I'm not having like an off month, right? So I want to share some skills that you need to be looking for. You say yes, okay, Janelle, I'm there. I have closed 25 deals in the last year, and I am ready to hire my first assistant. There are some things and some criteria that you really need to be aware of. So there's a such thing as a licensed assistant and an unlicensed assistant. Now, this is very real estate connected, but I want you guys to know if you hire a unlicensed assistant, it's not only against the TREC rules, but it is a crime to hire and have someone doing real estate activities as a real estate agent. Let me explain. Let me read it to you. So, Section 1101 of the Real Estate Licensing Act establishes that it is a crime for an unlicensed person to engage in activity for which real estate license is required. The broker or sales agent that employs an unlicensed person might be criminally charged for the crime as well, in addition to TREC making disciplinary action against the broker or sales agents that pays or associates with unlicensed persons to engage in activities. So a lot of you guys are saying, "Oh, you so hard on this." Like, why? I'm telling you, it's your license and my license when you go out and hire someone just off the fly. So it's very important for you guys to know who to incorporate in your business. If you want to read it yourself, that's in the TREC rules under section 1101 35. So what can a licensed unlicensed assistant do? Can anyone tell me? Most of y'all just got your real estate license. So you should know this because one day you're going to be in a position, if you're not in a position right now to hire, you're going to have to hire someone. So what can a unlicensed real estate assistant
Is it like answer the phones and like schedule appointments?
do? Basically. They can answer the phones, they can schedule appointments. If it comes to contractual work, they are not supposed to do it. What did I just read you from the Trek rules? It is a crime. They cannot do any contractual work. They cannot relay any contracts to anyone because writing a contract is a real estate activity. Now, if they're doing it for themselves, they can do real estate for themselves, but we cannot do real estate for another that has a fee associated with it. It even gives you some examples. Can they open the door for your clients? Can an unlicensed person open the door?
No.
No. Can an unlicensed person make phone calls for you?
No.
Very good. Can an unlicensed person send over your buyer's representation agreements to a client?
No.
No. So it's very important that if you decide as a real estate agent to hire an assistant, that you hire someone that's licensed, so that because it's not only against the Trek rules, you can not only just lose your license, but it's also a crime. Now, what skills do you guys believe that a licensed assistant should have? What should you be looking for in your assistant? Can someone tell me? And this is in business, period. In business, what skills should we be looking for in an assistant? What do you guys look for when you're looking for help?
Maybe someone who's a self-starter, someone you don't have to keep telling, hey, can you go ahead and do that? Can you go ahead and do that? Just someone who's initiative, has
Very good.
initiative, I mean.
Very good, Diamond. You possess that skill, right? So, what should I be looking for is it's a self starter. If I give you a task to do and I give you a process, then I should not have to go behind you and check to make sure that you're done. Like you should be able to get it done from A to Z every single day. And at the end of the day, you should be sending me your big nugget saying, hey, this is what I accomplished today. What's another skill that they should have?
They should have good communication skills, verbally and written.
Very good. Very good. That's the number one skill that they should have is good communication skills. Because if they cannot communicate, they cannot assist you because our job is 100% relational, right? So we are always communicating. That's the biggest tool that we have as real estate agents. You should have good communication skills as well. So what's another skill that they should have? And this is an assistant in any business. What skills should an assistant? We have to look at an assistant as this person is going to be my right hand. So what?
Organization.
That they're trainable.
Org. Oh, organ.
Yes, very good. That they're trainable, that they're coachable, and they're organized. What's another skill that they should have? Remember, let's just take the position that we are at where we need to be, and we are able to hire an assistant. What would you be looking for?
They need to be trustworthy and have an open availability.
Open availability is number two, right? You cannot be doing something for me and something for someone else. Especially if I need you full time. Now, if I need a part time assistant, which is pretty much our first hire, it's okay for them to be doing a lot of things. But if your work level determines that it needs 8 hours a day, and they have two real estate agents that they're working for, would that be a good hire for your business?
No.
Nope.
What's another skill that they should have?
Maybe time management.
Very good, right? Because every process should be timed out, right? Everything that you ask someone to do, you should know how long it takes for them to do. Because if they have taken too much time in their day, they are now mistaking movement for achievement, right? So if I give you 5 things to do and it take you 8 hours, that should not work. That's not a good use of my money, right? That's not a good ROI on my return because I need you to be able to get done everything that was doing in that time space so that I can go out and just make money. An assistant is supposed to do all of your busy work where you're just out making money. Okay. What else is a good skill for a assistant?
Technology savvy, where they know Microsoft, Excel, all of that.
Very good, Mace. That's the number three. They need to know technology, right? Now, could I be a real estate agent and not be tech savvy?
Yeah.
Yes, I
Yes.
can. Yes. I could never have touched a computer and still be able to sell real estate, but I better elect someone in my business that knows how. Tech is 100% needed, but it's not a skill that I must possess. Should we hire someone? Do you have to have all the skills to be successful?
No.
Not as the agent, but as the person that you're hiring, yes, you need to have all the skills that I need. But as the agent, I'm really hiring what I'm lacking. Does that make sense? I'm not very organized. Like, I'll be honest with you guys. I'm not very organized. I have adult ADD. I've diagnosed myself with adult autism. I cannot concentrate on things very long. But I hired Shannon, who has great patience and organization and follow up. So she makes my business better. Who else can we what other skills do they have that they need? You guys are gonna have to hire an assistant one day. So you're gonna have to tell me what you're looking for.
I want my assistant to look
Somebody
good.
that's dependable.
Hold on, one of y'all at a time. Go ahead.
No, I was saying someone that's dependable for sure.
How do we determine dependability?
You give them a set time to
When
be
they meet
there.
deadlines, yeah.
Let me show you how. Yes, you give people. You set a time. You give them a set of activities that they must get done at a certain time, and they get it done. So when I hired Shannon, I wish she was on this call so she could tell you guys. One way to know if they're organized and they know how to follow instructions is that you send an email with a certain amount of instructions. So I sent her an email and I said, I want you to respond to this email with this subject line. And I made one of the letters capital in the middle of a word, and I made another letter capital lowercase at the beginning of the word. And I said, I need you to respond to this email with this subject line. I need you to record a 35-second video, and I need you to have on all black with a black jacket, and I need you to tell me why you deserve this position, who you are, and introduce yourselves to the world as a client. And she did exactly what I told her to do. Even when she did the subject line, she copied it and pasted it. So it was the same exact copy instead of doing it with the way she wanted to do it. And she sent me that video, and I told her she had to 3 p.m. to send me the video. She sent me the video. She had on exactly what I had told her to do, and she introduced herself. That's how you know you have a good hire. If a person sends me back the email without the subject line, that's how I eliminate my hires. So if I had 500 people who apply for a job and I said, respond to this email with this subject line, and they correct it because they think it's wrong, that's not what I told you to do. So you're axed out. I'm not interviewing you. Then I give them a set of things that I need them to do by a certain time in a specific way. If you do not get it done, then you're axed out. And by the time you do that, even if I had 500 people, I probably still have 5 left that are actually going to get an interview. So if you ever apply for a job and you never heard them back, it's because they gave you a set of instructions and you did not follow them. And you didn't even realize the instructions were in there because that's a hiring technique. A person that you hire as your assistant, a person that is going to be your right hand, has to be able to follow instructions. They also need to be able to read all the way down to the bottom of the email because you need someone who has great attention. They do not need to have an attention deficit. So all of the important information is at the bottom. If they didn't make it all the way to the bottom, they don't deserve the position. They must be detailed. So a few more skills that the person needs to have. They need to have strong literacy and numeric skills, right? They need to be able to count money. Why? Because we work in percentages and facts and figures, right? They need to have a working knowledge of social media for monitoring and advertising. They have to have a small amount of graphic design. They need to be able to handle multiple projects at the same time, and they need to have priority skills. So if I tell someone that they need to do 10 things, they need to be able to prioritize those things and get them all done, but get the most important things done. So how do they know? This is real big when you're working with an assistant. How does the assistant know how to do the job?
Um, Janelle.
Uh-huh.
So I agree with everything you said, and more. But I'll just say that for me, a big thing is that for me to feel that I can trust the and that they genuinely care about me. They want to see me succeed. They want to see us succeed. When they do that, they'll fill in the gaps. I'll find that they'll fill in the gaps. So then that you gave, which you gave to challenge, which you gave to Shannon, she followed your directions to the T. For me, I would have wanted her to ask me, "Hey, afterwards, before we send this out, did you mean to capitalize this or capitalize that to catch my errors and to help me because she cares and she wants me to look good as well. He or she wants me to look good as well. But I just think that that's what I'm looking for when I get to the point of hiring an assistant. So if when I get to that point, I want somebody who is going to be detail oriented, like you said, who can handle multiple tasks, and someone who's thorough. Who's from top to bottom, like when you spoke of that. But I just want somebody who can see the gaps and fill in. In reference to your last question on how do they get that, and how do they get what they need in order to help me, I would say through training and transparency. For me, I would make sure that I train them the way you were just transparent. Now I just popped onto the call because I had a thing this morning, but the way you were transparent about how you have ADHD and how you don't pay attention with this, that, and another. Now she's getting a feel. He or she is getting a feel of how they can help you, how they can help complement you as your assistant. So to me, that's just communication, training, and transparency for me.
Correct, right? And so how do I so if training is one of the things that I should do to be able to set my assistant up for success. One of the major mistakes that most people make is not setting the person up for success in the first place, right? So I'm asking you to do something and to accomplish a task that's in my head. How do I communicate that task over to the assistant so that they are set up for success and able to accomplish it the way I needed to accomplish it? What do I do? It's a specific thing that I give them in order for them to be set up for success. What is that specific thing?
A
You
protocol.
Say it again.
A protocol.
I can't hear you. Say it one more time.
A protocol.
Very good. They need processes and procedures, SOPs. So it needs to be wrote out, everything that I do. So before you decide to hire someone, you need a SOP for every task that you do. What does it take for you to be successful? I need an SOP, and it needs to go from A to Z. So I kept using Charlie as an example because we just did this, right? I wrote out the SOP for every assistant, but the first thing I did was ask him, walk me through the process. Tell me what it takes for you to do this, for you to do this, for you to do this, for you to do this. And then I wrote the SOPs for her. Now, Charlie, how tedious and how aggravating and how um, hard is that process?
I had to get up and walk around all.
Yes. So when Charlie is thinking and it gets too tense, he walks through our coaching sessions, right?
I ain't gonna
But
lie, man. Like each after each session, man. Not only me, but my a lot more empowered and relaxed. Cause I can see her face. I watch her. You know what I'm saying? So like last time, she was like, "Whoa, I gotta do it." I could just tell like all the stuff that she was thinking about that she got to do. But after
mhm.
our session, she be way more, relaxed and empowered, man. So they definitely be on point. But one thing that I do, anything that I ask her to do, I'll show her and I record it. So it's a computer app called Loom, Loom. Like anything I do that I need her to do, and I have to show her how to do it, I record it on there, and then she can always go back and reference to see exactly how to do it on the computer.
Very good. So, that's I'm glad that you brought that up, right? So, like he said, in our coaching sessions, we've done processes and procedures twice. This is our second one, and he has to pace because it's one of those things that building a foundation is the hardest thing you have to do. But once we build it, once we get to communicate it, then we're empowered and we can move forward, right? This is a process of taking the lid off of our business. But let's when if he cannot write it down because it's just so hard and a tedious thing, recording it is just as good. Walking a person through the process with a video probably works better than me writing down the processes and the procedures because a lot of people are visual. So the first task when you're hiring an assistant is to give them a disc assessment so that you can in the KPI. So I asked him about KPIs yesterday. Right, you should give them a disc assessment to figure out how they learn and how they operate. So giving me a video as a D is perfect, right? Right. Giving you a video works better.
Sorry, I'm trying to get dressed. Yes, definitely works better.
Right. So we have attention deficit, right? Because we're high D's. I need the answer. I don't need the lesson. That's basically how I operate. Give me the answer. Now, on the flip side, because I'm a teacher, I have a little C in me, very little, but I do study stuff. But I study it to learn. I don't study it to read and just have something to do. Like I'm not reading the book a back and front. I'm reading it to learn what I need to learn, and I'm expounding on that thing that I need to learn. But having a video helps a high D. Having a video does not help the C. But the C, having a person who is a C or SC is the best person to hire as an assistant. So does everyone know what I mean by I say a disc assessment? Has most of you guys had to take one when you came to your first coaching session with me? Has everyone took a disc assessment and know what I'm talking about?
I still need to take mine, but I know what you're talking about.
Diamond, I need you to click it, right? So the D stands for dominant, the I stands for influencer, informational, the S stands for social, the C stands for clerical, and so these people, based on what you are in your DISC assessment, helps the person to know how to best empower you. So if I am a D, do I hire another D?
No.
Why not?
Because you need somebody to complete your team. You need to build a team that's going to have the entire DIC SC. If you
Very
have
good.
if you have a team full of D's, then you won't have that person who's going to be meticulous to handle the things in the background, the small details. You won't have what you need. You're building a team to be complete on all spectrums.
Very good. Natasha works in HR. So if you guys ever have a question or want to verify or even expound on the things that I'm telling you, she's a great connect for you guys. She likes lunch. So
Mhm.
she's really good at that. But you cannot have all D's, right? We're going to bump heads, and two, we're still going to be missing what it takes to be successful because D's normally don't have time to write out SOPs. D's got 5 minutes to tell you what to do, and they hope that you can get it done. And when you don't get it done, they just fire and go on to the next person, right? We all need some eyes. Eyes are influencers. Those are people who could have excellent communication skills. They're able to capture people. They have great connection skills, right? So that client that's pissing you off will be great when you relay them over to your eye because they can see what you don't see. So it's always good to have those people. You need the social people, the people who are socialites. They go out, they talk to people. They don't care nothing about running nothing, and they definitely don't care nothing about paperwork. So that's a problem, right? But they're able to go and get the business. They just cannot complete the business. And C's are the clerical people. They're the organized people. They're the nurturers. They are the organized. They have to have everything in points, like 1 point, second point, third point, 5.6, A, B, C, D. I can go from A to Z. They have to have all of the alphabets, all 26. So that's what you have to know about the people you're hiring as well. So another thing you should give them is a DISC assessment, because if you're hiring yourself, it doesn't work. A lot of times in real estate, we hire ourselves and then we say, oh, I'm not hiring anybody in my business because I don't want them to take my business. Well, hiring a D is nine times out of 10, that's what's going to happen if you're a D. If you hire us, if you're a C and you don't hire a D in your business, it's going to be really hard, because you need that person who says, stop thinking about it and move. Stop getting ready to get ready and just make the move. If it works, it works. If it don't, it don't. That's how D's think. So you're going to need all the pieces to the pot. Right. So that's those are the things that you do when you're getting ready to hire an assistant. Any questions, concerns, comments? Is this making sense to you guys? Great. All right. So when do I hire an assistant? When I have consistently in a year's period of time have closed at least 25 deals. If I have a service-based business and I have worked with 25 clients in a year's time, I am ready for an assistant. If I have not worked with at least 25 clients consistently, then I am just really, really busy and I need to organize my business. A few things that assistants can do and should do is they make sure they can put your signs in your lock boxes. They create your brochures, your marketing. They answer your emails. They schedule your appointments. They do all your mail delivery. They do all of your follow-ups. They create platforms for you to go out and market. So they schedule your vendor opportunities. They actually open up opportunities. But another important thing that they do is they handle your finances. They make sure that you are staying on target with your budget. Can you guys add any other skills that you think that a assistant should have? So for all the people that's looking for an assistant, you don't have any qualifications other than the ones that I gave you? Perfect. Okay.
I, I I didn't know what to look for before I came to CR Elite, so I believe I'm still in the learning process.
Well, this is a great platform for us to learn, right? So we are looking for the people who have they have the clerical skills, the organization skills, the soft skills. They have the organizations. They can take directions really well. They have computer skills, basic technology skills. And these people will be able to, how do we grade them? Like, what are they supposed to do for our business? Are they supposed to make us money? Or are they supposed to take over the busy work for us to be able to make more money?
Take
They
over the busy work.
Very
and they have
good.
common sense.
Say it again, right?
They have common sense.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. So me and Ray talk about this all the time, right? Should they have common sense? Well, the problem with common sense is that what's common to me ain't common to you, right? So we do have to have people who think like we think, because what I think is common sense could be really vague to somebody else, right? What's common ain't common. So how do we define common sense? What's common sense? It's basic knowledge of the position that you have, right? I if you're an assistant, I shouldn't have to tell you how to do certain things. That's common sense. So if I say type this paper up, you should not ask me how to type the paper up, because you're an assistant, right?
But doesn't that go against what you were saying about the subject line in the capital letters?
Yeah, following instructions, right? That being able to follow instructions is different than having common sense. I'm glad you brought that up, AK. So right, so if I tell anybody can follow instructions, but everybody don't have common sense. That's good. So if I say take the subject line and reply to this email and use this subject line right here, that is following instructions. If I say create an email and create a subject line, make sure you add a subject line to it and make sure you follow all the instructions in it. That's common sense to tell you, okay, well, I'm supposed to copy it or not. If I give you instructions, you follow. If I ask you to create it, you should be able to do it. That's called common sense, right? Everybody should know how to send an email, right? Should they?
Yes.
Should, but okay, so that's my thing with sometimes when me and Ray is discussing this. We would think, right, that everybody knows how to send an email. That's common sense to know how to send an email. But what about the person who doesn't use the computer?
Well, there shouldn't be a virtual assistant.
Agreed.
But what there's people who sell real estate who don't use computers. They're not computer savvy. So if they were getting ready to go into real estate and they needed to send an email to a broker to acquire about hiring, they could not do it because they don't even own a computer. There's people who've been in real estate for years that don't use technology. So is that common sense or is that following instructions?
I got you.
Right? It's real hard for us to determine common sense. Like what we think is common may not be so common. And I get that from my children, right? Because they always like, man, that's so dumb, mama. That's like common sense. But that's not common to me, the things that kids think of these days. Like I ask a lot of questions. So they're like, man, that's dumb. It's not a dumb question. There's no such thing as a dumb question. But I don't think the way that this generation thinks. So does it mean I don't have common sense or what's common to them is not common to me?
Maybe a little bit of both.
Right. So we'll make mistakes in hiring and firing sometimes because what's common to me may not be common to you. But how do I combat common sense? How do I combat to make sure we're on the same page and we're set up for success?
SOPs.
SOPs. We got to have some SOPs, right? So if you're not able to make a video and write out from A to Z how this job should be done, you're not ready to hire a assistant. They should have a manual to say, hey, this is how I get this done. They should be able to refer to that in your absence. And let me tell you how you test your manual. You should be able to give it to anybody and they should be able to do it. If they cannot complete the task, then your manual is not detailed enough. They should be able to operate your position in your absence. So when me and Charlie was going through it, the first question I asked Maya was, when I wrote out those procedures for you, how did your week go? I seen the biggest smile I've seen in a long time. She was super happy because it made it make sense for her. Now she has two sets of instructions. She has the written ones and she has the videos that Charlie gave her. But she makes his business more successful. So in 1 week's time, he was able to go out and gain some more clients because he did not have to worry about the busy work in 1 week.
Janelle.
Mm-hmm.
Just to add to that, I think SOPs are as important as you are saying they are, and more. The only thing I would add to that is just to gauge, to make sure that you don't that you all are on the same page, or making sure that that everything is going as scheduled, is to make sure you have milestones and deadlines set in place, because some people say this is what you're supposed to do, and then people are not. Sometimes you find yourself revisiting things multiple times,
Mm-hmm.
you haven't set up that this is what this skill should have been mastered by this. Okay, I trained you on this. Let's see what you know on this. And to make sure that you're creating milestones of when someone should master a skill or know something by a certain time, so that you're not revisiting training 6 months and a year down the line of something that was taught in week one.
That's true, Tasha. That's why a lot of offices have a 30, 60, 90-day plan, right? So the next step after you create your SOPs is to have a 30, 60, 90 plan. So in 30 days, you should be on task to be doing this, right? This is our milestone. By this time, you should have successfully completed this. You may have questions about this, and here are some learning opportunities to help you grow further. And then we get to 60 days. In 60 days, by now you've accomplished everything in the 30 days, plus you know this, and this, and by this time, you should be set up to this. You should be have they not only do we set up milestones, but we set up awareness. So if you haven't reached this moment, here are some things that you need to be working on. And then we do 90 days. In 90 days, if they haven't got it, we fire fast and we hire slow. It takes 66 days to create a habit. That's the reason why we give them 60 days, and then it's time for performance. So you should be gaining your greatest ground as the agent or the business owner in the 60 between 60 and 90-day period. Once they have been working on it for 66 days, if they ain't got it by then and you're not gaining ground, it's time to let them go. Sometimes we sit in positions too long, and we marry people who they are, and we don't marry them on paper. So I always tell people, if you remove the person and you read them and learn them only on paper, do they still qualify? That's how you answer that question. If I take them out of my face and I look at them on paper, do they qualify for the position? That's how I hire them. Other than that, we're just hiring out of scarcity. So who wants to role play? Tasha, I'll choose you. Let's role play the conversation. When we decide to hire a assistant, how should that go? What questions should we ask? What points do we need to make sure we touch? And how do we do that process? So I will be the assistant and you're going to hire me, okay?
I was hoping it was the other way around, Janelle.
No problem. We can do it that way too.
Oh, okay.
We can do it that way. Okay. So, ring ring.
Ring. Hi, good morning. How are
Good
you?
morning. Good morning, Tasha. This is Janelle. I noticed that you had applied for the position to be an assistant for our office. Is this a good time to talk?
Yeah, right now it's a good time.
Great. So tell me a little bit about yourself and your experience in the assistant position.
Sure. So I've been an administrative assistant for I would say for the last 12 years. I enjoy doing this role just because I'm very attention to detail. I'd rather deal with numbers, materials rather than people, but I enjoy working with someone who is aggressive like yourself, who's goal oriented and whom I can support and be success and help be successful.
Okay. So I know that a lot of times since you've been in the position, we have some down points and we have some great moments. Can you tell me, how do you learn? What is the best place that I can put you in to actually learn this position and grow in this position?
Sure. I feel the best thing for me is to be hands on in training, to have clear cut expectations, and for me to understand what it is that you want from me in reference to how I can help the business be successful.
Okay, I'm looking here at your resume, and it looks like you've been working at the same company for like the last 5 years. If I was to call your boss today, what great things would they have to say about you?
Yeah, so I think one thing that you can point to is my last performance review. And my last performance review, out of all the team members in our company and that report to my manager, I'm the only one with all greens and one yellow. Now, yellow means just doing our job, but greens means that we excel. And then my major strengths were the ones that I had greens in.
Awesome. Could you actually forward that to me in an email?
Yes, I will.
Okay, so we all have strengths and we all have weaknesses. What would you say your weaknesses would be?
Sure. One of my weaknesses is that I would say yes too much and too quickly. But I've learned as a professional and as a parent, I've learned to level expectations. So the way that I resolved that many years ago was for me to be able to let people know what I had on my table, prioritize, and make sure that at the same time I follow up. So just making sure that I get everything done, but to make sure that no one else's emergency became an inconvenience from my priority list.
Very good. So tell me, what's one of your strengths?
One of my biggest strengths is that I think I am detail oriented and fair. So
Okay.
very detailed. I like looking at details. I usually don't let things get around me. And I guess my details help me become help you shine, kind of like the moon to the sun. But I do a good job with making sure that you look good, whether it be on paper, in person, or virtually.
Okay. Though awesome. I appreciate that. Now, do you have any I like to goal set and I like to plan. I'm a planner. So do you have any 1 year, 3 year, and 5 year goals?
Yes. So I hope all of these goals align with what you are doing right now with your business, but I think it will very much so. One of my 1 year goals is to make sure that I understand all of your systems, all of your protocols, and understand your clients, what they want and what they need, and how I can help your business grow in that first year. My 5 year goal is to actually be a contributing factor within your business not and to be able to hopefully gain another team member if our business is actually doing very well in 5 years to where I expect us to be doing. And then in reference to 10-year goals, it's just to make sure that I continue to grow with the economy based on where the world is going, and then just support any goals that you have for the business and making sure that we are doing what we need to do to be successful and make more revenue, profit revenue.
That sounds so great. I love the buy-in. That thank you for that. Now, one of the I want to tell you a little bit about myself. I have older children. I am married. My husband's actually an entrepreneur as well, and so I spend a lot of time working. I produce about 100 deals a year, which means that it's my job to increase, and I like to grow at about a 25% level every year. Tell me a little bit about your family and your time that you have to commit to my business.
Sure. So I believe that commitment is based on results, and I am very results oriented. So I'm also married with two children, and I take care of my mother as well. But because of my family structure, I am able to usually work in hours that don't fall within the business hours to make sure that I get things done. And although I have that time of the year, which is usually football season, where I'm out on weekends, I can make sure that the business never slips by making sure I'm always planning and preparing according to goals, and making sure every year we're making our 25% growth or more.
Very good. So it will be times when I call you because I am very active in my church and a few organizations here in the city. And so I would like to be able to reach you sometime. This won't be all the time, but to know that you're available to help me if I have a problem. Is that something that you can do?
Yeah, sure. I think that standard operating hours, I don't think I require necessarily a set work schedule as long as I'm available. So, those times that you need me, they fall out the traditional work hours, it's no problem at all. Just give me a call.
So tell me, what can I do to help you grow? What would make this a win-win situation for you and for me?
Well, once I have identified the standard processes, and I've accomplished and mastered the areas and skills that you like to see me excel at, I'd like to start maybe participating in some of those things that are revenue generating. So once I start helping build relationships, maybe creating a bonus structure or something like that that could help down the line. But that's something we can put in a for now and just talk about later. But just possibly as I help implement your business, that I become part of some of those those positive revenues.
Now, I noticed that you said you had a husband. Are you responsible for bringing home a certain amount of income to your family?
The good thing about it is I think we both contribute, and whatever I'm responsible for, I'll just be perfectly honest with you. I know that it comes from my hard work. So as long as I'm doing what I need to do, I can respect that. He's very supportive.
Very good. So but my goal is to get you to a certain level of income, and that's going to be based on the production and business that I do. So I want you to know that this could be a fast paced thing or it could be a slow paced thing. It's based on the contribution of you and I. And so are you on board with that?
Yeah, so I thrive in fast-paced environments. I can multitask without getting lost or making losing any tractions. That's why I love the details. But even when it's slow, it's still fast for me, because in the slow times, or when the business is slow, I'm not really slow because I'm planning for the times that I know are coming for us to be fast.
Very good. So I'm real big on commitments, and so this position is going to require a 12-month commitment. And so, are you willing to sign an agreement to spend 12 months helping me grow my business?
Absolutely. I don't like the job hop. As you stated before, I was at my last job for 5 years, and I've been in the industry for over 12. With the right leadership, to be honest with you, I don't plan on or foresee us parting ways. Just growth going forward.
Okay. Another position another process in this position is conflict resolution. Can you give me a your thoughts on what I mean by conflict resolution? What does that mean to you?
Well, let me start off by saying that one word that people have described me in the midst of conflict is diplomatic. So I'm usually really unbiased. I'm able to step back, pause, and reset so that I can look at the core issue and not get caught up in the noise factors such as tone, misdirection of frustration, and just focus directly on the core issue at hand. So when it comes to resolving conflict, I'm pretty good at it because I'm able to shift through the things that don't matter and get right to the point and the concern of the person who's upset.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that you have that because we work in a service business, right? And so there is a saying in our business that the customer is always right. And so for the moment, they will be with you. And so I would suggest that we do some practices on that. You do some studying so that you know how to do a great pass off. Now, I have a lot of procedures that I have wrote out for the position and what it entails. And I'm going to go ahead and email that over to you so that you can let me know if this is too much or if this is something that you can actually accomplish. I'm also going to send you a follow up email, and I suggest you read the instructions in that. It has some time factors in it, and it has some certain instructions for you to be able to follow. Would you be able to do that if I sent you that email today?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and send you the email. If you have any questions about the position, about myself, please do not hesitate to give me a call. If we are going to bring you in for a second interview, you will receive a call from us by the end of the week. Does that sound like a plan?
No, that sounds like a plan. I look forward to it, Janelle. Thank you so much for today and your time.
No problem. You have a great day.
No problem. Take
Okay. Any questions or concerns? Tasha, what could I have done better? What do you feel is the questions I missed, or did I ask great questions?
No, I felt like
We looking to hire somebody.
Say it again, Andrea.
We looking to hire somebody on the yes real estate team.
Oh, okay, so I'll give you my fee for hiring for you. No, I'm just saying. Well, Tasha, go ahead. Was there some questions that I should have asked, or did I ask great
well, you
questions?
didn't ask me if I had any questions. And then I felt like the questions that you asked were very, very good. The other question I probably would have asked is in addition to asking, what do I need from you? I would probably ask what type of work environment do I like working in? I want to know what people have to say about it. And then in addition to that, the only thing I guess when you get to the second of you can ask other questions, but I felt like the questions were spot on and were very good. The only thing I would have asked is if I had any additional questions.
Okay. This is our HR specialist, so I respect her opinion. And so, did anyone did that bring an aha to anyone? Anyone have any questions, or do you feel there were some questions that I should have asked or done better? Okay, everybody out ready to hire their next assistant?
I think the biggest thing when it comes to hiring in real estate, what I've seen over like our career being at KW and just thus far is like really being ready to hire somebody, right? So some people hire out of scarcity, some people hire because like you said, they think that they have it, but it's really busy work. And some people really don't have the funds to hire. The biggest thing that I've seen in real estate is where people hire too quick. And when it started taking money out of their pocket in real estate, they fire the person, right? So the person's not doing anything wrong. They just wasn't ready to hire. So Janelle always says, like, put 6 months, right, away of that person's income before you hire them. But also be prepared in this market that there may be times that you have bad months. So do you have the finances to come out of your pocket if the business isn't working that much to carry it to the next month?
That's a good question. And even if you guys have got into real estate, right, and you have decided that maybe the sales part of it is not for me, and I want to go in and be a transaction coordinator. There's so many things that you can do in real estate besides sell real estate, right? I want to be an assistant. I want to be an ISA. ISA is a person who makes inside sales calls. I want to I want to be a trainer. Whatever that is, you have to make sure that you are asking the right questions as well. So, what would be some questions as an assistant that you would ask the person who is employing you to make sure that you were going to be set up for success? No one has any questions? Okay. So this is, I hope this helped you guys to be able to have those conversations. So that second interview, right? After I have talked to all of these people, I am going to take the person who, one, the DISC assessment matches what I need. It's a yin to my yang. And secondly, I am going to hire the person who actually can, I'm going to have a second interview with the person who follows the second instructions. And then I'm going to hire the person who had the biggest buy in. One thing that Tasha had was a buy in to everything. She used keywords when she was talking to me. She said, we and you. Every time it was something about I needed, she was ready to make sure that my goals. She put herself behind and she said, you. If it was something that she needed to do and then she had a skill to incorporate in it, she said, we. Even when I asked her about her goals, she did not have a goal to become a real estate agent like me one day. Her goals was to make sure that our business grows. The more I grow, the more she grows. That's who you hire. She never used her, well, one day I'm going to be a real estate agent. I'm going to have a big business. I'm just doing this so that I can gain the skills so that I can learn how to do this business. You do not hire that person. You hire the person who buys into the process. They have to be a raving fan of you and your business and the ability to succeed. If not, then you will be firing them soon. And we definitely don't want to hire and fire, but we do fire fast and we hire slow. So now we get to the second interview. Who wants to role play with me? Don't everybody volunteer at once. I'm going to pick somebody. Okay. Kayla, role play with me. Okay. Can she hear me?
I should say no. I can hear you.
It's
I
okay.
did not interview well. Let me just put that out there. Well, okay.
Now, let me tell you why I picked you, right? Because I love your attitude, right? You have the attitude of a person who's going to get the job done. There is no wrong answers to these, okay? But you're
Okay.
going to get it done by all means necessary. So, you figuring out a way to sell real estate with no instructions, with no nothing, and still was able to succeed is a skill that 90% of people on this call don't have, right? So I want you to think about that when you're thinking about this second interview.
Okay.
Okay. So ring ring.
Well,
Hi Kayla, this is Janelle. I was calling you back because you happened to make it to the second round of interviews, and I was really, really impressed with your first interview. And so I do have a few additional questions that I do want to ask you. Is this a good time?
yes, this is a good time.
Great. So we did have a great discussion the last time, but I want to know what your availability is like. If I was to offer you this position today, when would you be able to start?
I mean, I could start immediately.
Okay.
I'm open.
I know this may sound real redundant, but I need to ask you these questions. Do you have sufficient transportation to get back and forth to
I'm
work?
sorry, you cut out. Do I have what now?
Sufficient transportation to get back and forth every day. Will you be able to show up to the office every day?
Do I have what? I'm sorry.
Transportation. Can you come to
Yes.
work every?
Yes,
Okay.
I can get there.
I know you told me that you take care of your mom and you also have a baby. Will you have sufficient daycare for this position?
Yes, I will. I have to come up with something, but yes, I will.
Okay. So would you be able to come up with that thing by Monday?
Yes, that's enough
Awesome.
time.
Awesome. So this is a full-time job. This is going to be a 8-hour schedule. We do allow a little flexibility, but you do have to be in the office by 10 o'clock. I do ask that you give all of your 8 hours here at the office to our business. So do you have any other businesses or anything you do outside of being a real estate assistant?
No, this is
Okay.
it.
We also have a confidentiality thing that you're going to have to sign because we do have a lot of confidential things that we work on, people's information. And so I want to make sure you're able to sign that confidentiality and you're on board with that.
Okay. Yes, I can sign that.
Okay. So during our last interview, I did a lot of talking and I gave you a lot of things. What questions do you have for me, and what processes or what things do you need help with in order for me to set you up for success?
Um, I could be successful if I am giving a protocol. That is the only thing that I would need from you. I would need to know A to Z, what my expectations are, and things of that nature. But once I get the protocol, I can follow it. No problem.
Okay, awesome. So another one of our requirements is that you use our computer. You don't have to work from home or use your computer to do the majority of the tasks that we ask that you can work with. So I just want to make sure that you know that you get a 1 hour lunch and that you're able to come to work. We have a business casual environment. So you will have to dress business casual. On Fridays. You can wear jeans. Is that okay?
Yeah, that works.
Awesome. Well, I really, really look forward to working with you. I got your video. It is perfect. Now I need you to do one more thing, and I need you to record a video. I need you to wear a black suit with a black top, and I need you to introduce yourself to the team. Just tell them who you are, what you look to accomplish, and what position you'll be working in. Could you get that done for me by this afternoon?
I can. That's enough
Awesome.
time.
Awesome. Okay. I look forward to working with you. I'll get the video this afternoon. If you have any other questions between now and Monday, please let me know. Other than that, I look forward to seeing you at the office on Monday.
Okay, thank you so much for the opportunity. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. So I highly suggest when you hire someone into your office that you allow them to use your computer and your information. What's the dangers of them taking your information home?
It could get leaked.
Yeah. So we also have to be equipped to be able to give our assistants the tools, not just the procedures, not just but the equipment as well to be successful. So what if Kayla comes to me 2 weeks later and she says, you know what, Janelle, we need a gimbal. In order for me to be able to do your marketing for you, I'm gonna need a gimbal. I'm also, you know what, another thing we're going to need is I'm gonna need you brought me this laptop and I'm using it, but I need a mouse. I work a lot better with a mouse. So your expense budget is going to come into play because you're going to have to set that position up for success. Is this all this making sense to you guys? Okay, well, I hope that it's 9:30. So if you guys don't have any other questions or concerns, I really, really hope this helped you be able to hire the right assistant, know when you need an assistant, and know what skills they're supposed to possess. We always like to script and role play the conversation so that you know exactly how it sounds. And if you have any questions or concerns about this, after this, you're more than welcome to reach me by email. It's Janelle at crealty.com. My phone number is 817-703-9305. And you can also hit me on the back channel of Clubhouse, or you can send me a message on Instagram at I am Janelle Compton. Tomorrow is going to be a really, really great class because it's going to help you figure out how to pick the right brokerage to work with, what questions you should ask, what things should you be looking for, and you guys get to voice your opinion as well. So if you could do me a favor, invite a friend. This will be a great topic for everybody to have, and this will complete the series of being set up as the best real estate agent you possibly can. So if this is the first class that you came on, go back, listen to the replays. We talked about hiring a VA. We talked about hiring a transaction coordinator. Today we talked about hiring a assistant, and tomorrow we're going to be talking about picking the best brokerage that helps and fits your needs. If you guys don't have anything else, then we'll see you guys at the office at 9:30 tomorrow at 9:30 for Smile and Dow. All right, have a great day.
You too.